As he prepares to return home to Honolulu to spend the holiday with his daughter Daniela, Captain Brodie Torrance is seen in the opening scene of the movie contacting her from Singapore. As he arrives to meet his co-pilot, Samuel Dealey, aboard Trailblazer Airlines Flight 119, veteran RAF pilot Brodie is informed that they will be flying through a storm. Brodie is informed by Bonnie, the head flight attendant, that he must meet with an RCMP officer. The officer tells Brodie that Louis Gaspare, a former soldier of the French Foreign Legion and suspected murderer, is being transported. We see other passengers, including a snobby businessman and several young social media influencers, as the aircraft prepares to take off. Brodie and Dealey converse while in the air, with Brodie bringing up the fact that his wife went away years previously. The aircraft goes through the typhoon and experiences severe turbulence as it crosses the South China Sea. As the storm intensifies, the aircraft sustains damage, and in the chaos, Brodie sustains a head injury. The RCMP officer gets up from his chair, is knocked down, and collapses. In an attempt to save him, a stewardess is murdered in the turbulence as well. To restore a safety equilibrium, Brodie and Dealey must maintain control without radios or radar. When they realize the damage is great, they must do an emergency landing. After locating an island, the pilots land awkwardly. When things have calmed down, Brodie orders the passengers to exit the aircraft. He finds out that they are in the Philippines on Holo Island with Dealey to attempt to find the jet and passengers. Scarsdale, the crisis manager for Trailblazers, meets with the board of directors at their headquarters in New York City. Because of Louis' terrible past, Brodie strives to keep him safe and protected from the other passengers. In order to keep the passengers calm and figure out how to contact for assistance, Brodie collaborates with Dealey and Bonnie. Dealey informs Brodie that violent separatists run Holo, and the longer they stay, the greater the risk to everyone's safety. After learning of the plane's crash landing, the rebels, commanded by Dada Junmar, attempt to exploit the passengers. In the meanwhile, Brodie and Louis go into the forest in search of a method to call for assistance. Once they return to New York City, Scarsdale and the board go over Brodie's history dossier, which includes a video of an encounter in which Brodie attempted to defuse an irate passenger by holding him in a chuckhole until the guy hit him and went out. They locate the jet after finding out about Brodie's calls to Trailblazer and his daughter. Since the Philippine government is hesitant to assist and Scarsdale is aware of the danger on the island, he deploys a private mercenary force to rescue the crew and passengers. Daniela receives word from her aunt in Honolulu that her father's aircraft has crashed. When Brodie and Louis get to a tower, he is able to speak with the Trailblazer's agent, but she doesn't believe him since she says they've been receiving a lot of irrational calls over the missing airplane. Before he gets ambushed by a rebel, Brodie phones Daniela and tries to let her know where they are. Until he kills the guy, Brodie fights him. When Brodie and Louis investigate the facility further, they discover that the rebels used it as a place to record and torture their prisoners in order to extract ransom payments. When the two dash back to the aircraft, they discover that Junmar and his henchmen have already arrived. When a Korean lady tries to escape, one of the rebels shoots her. After that, her spouse is viciously beheaded. Brodie and Louis flee while the rebels go on to kidnap everyone else. After the rebels go, the two defeat the last rebel and discover that Junmar is transporting everyone to a neighboring town. Louis and Brodie decide to follow and save everyone. Junmar begins pressuring the captives to reveal their names and nationalities for their ransom film as the two depart for the hamlet. The remains of the RCMP officer and the stewardess, together with a note from Brodie, are all that are visible near the aircraft when the mercenary crew, led by a guy called Shellback, arrives on the island. After reaching the settlement, Brodie and Louis find the captives and rescue a few more rebels. In an attempt to give the passengers a chance to escape, Brodie gives himself to the rebels as everyone boards the bus. The mercenary squad shows up and starts shooting at the rebels as Junmar and his men beat him and are ready to kill him. Brodie and the passengers manage to get away with the aid of Louis and the mercenaries. After the battle, Junmar discovers his brother among the dead, which intensifies his personal grievance with the others. As Louis and the mercenaries repel the rebels who are pursuing them, the passengers and crew manage to return to the jet. Fearing for Trailblazer's life in the event of the damaged plane exploding in midair, Trailblazer's executive Terry Hampton demands that the plane remain where it is. However, Scarsdale ignores him and orders Brodie to get the plane airborne before they are all killed by the rebels. Louis decides to stay on the island since he has no chance of returning after discovering the ransom money that the mercenary crew brought with them. After the majority of the first rebel wave has been eliminated, Brodie and Dealey attempt to restart the aircraft. When Junmar tries to shoot an RPG at the plane, Brodie raises it high enough in the air to kill Junmar by colliding with him head-on with the wheels of the aircraft. Despite the aircraft's severe damage, they continue on for Siasi, a neighboring island with an airfield. With only one engine remaining in little control, Brodie manages to make a safe landing with Delhi's help. At HQ, everyone applauds. Brodie phones Daniela to let her know he is safe and on his way home once everyone has safely disembarked from the aircraft and takes a seat on the stairs. Have more questions or suggestions? To ensure that you don't miss my remarks in next videos, leave them in the comments section and subscribe. You won't want to miss the fun things I have planned. Press the subscribe button to enable push notifications. Also to get exclusive advice that I only provide to my subscribers.